It's Wednesday the 12th of February and it's a full moon today and it looks like Bitcoin likes it. There have been some pretty nasty shakeouts today in quite a lot of markets after the inflation data, which came in higher than expected, which basically means that the Fed are not going to be cutting rates anymore for a little bit, which the market was kind of banking on. But we've seen a really nice bounce back. And I think in Asian trading tonight, as we head into Asian trading, we could see a pretty decent bounce because there's some risk-on moves going on in Asian trading as well. Vanke, V-A-N-K-E, one of the, I think it's Chinese fifth largest builder, announced a massive loss for 2024. And unlike other real estate companies, it looks like this one's going to get bailed out, which the markets like, and we're seeing some pretty strong moves based on that and kind of risk on moves. Let's take a look around the markets then and see where we are and what we are looking at. First off, I'm going to talk about this NASDAQ, because the NASDAQ and crypto are very correlated, and you can see we had this really nice, this is a daily chart of the NASDAQ 100. As I said before, we're in this really nasty consolidation, this sideways bottling up, but this run lower down to these daily moving averages and a really big strong bounce back kind of leaves us on the poised to break out, if you like. It doesn't look quite so pretty in the E-mini, though it is fighting back. We aren't quite on the verge of breaking out from this consolidation in this chart. But if we take a look at some of the other charts, for example, this Hang Seng, this is a monthly chart of the Hang Seng. Now, I would have been quite bearish on this one, because if I look back to the low in 2022, this to me looked like a textbook equal measured move, but this pullback that we did back into these moving averages has found support and we're turning up higher again. Now, I had my fib, the 38.2 fib here, but I, as you know, rely on a lot on this 50%, and twice we've been rejected this 50% level, and also this swing low, pretty important level, 22,870 in this chart. And it looks like we're bouncing back here on the monthly. On the weekly, you can see really strong move, pull back into these weekly moving averages, turning up higher again. If we push above this bigger 50% level, I think we're going to reach up to this 50% level from these highs, which is higher, and 24,000 next, which would be a I've messed this up, let's put this back. That would be a pretty strong move, and pretty strong given everything that's going on, with tariff wars and Trump and so on. One thing about China is they really care about market share, so they will not reduce prices, they will fight for their market share in these tariff wars. So I wouldn't be betting against them, but for now this Hang Seng looks really strong and setting to test these highs. And if we do keep this 21,838.2 fib, which is a pretty strong level if we look left here on the weekly, if we hold above that, I think we have got more upside, and 24,000 is a pretty good target for this. So really the only thing that got hurt today with the inflation data was yields. So how about Bitcoin? Because we saw very similar nasty shakeout. I'm just gonna go, here's our daily charter today, and we've basically been all the way down to the lows, made a new lowest low, and now here we are with a really big bullish reversal. And this is the kind of price action we were looking for a bottom and for another swing higher. So I think it's happening, and I think it potentially could happen tonight. So just like this NASDAQ, there's a possibility, whenever you can draw a channel like this and the two trend lines at either side of the channel converge, in other words they bunch into the middle like we see here. In Elliott wave, they say that a trending market stays within a parallel channel. So whenever I see this pattern, I clone this lower trend line here and I set this up, and I always say, right, the first target is when we break out from this converging channel, we will reach the top of this parallel channel. And if we do that here, we can see that's also the 4 hour, this previous swing high from when we tried it on the 7th of February. And again, when we tried it on the 4th of February, it's the 4 hour 200 moving average, which is kind of pretty close to the daily 100 moving average. And so on this breakout, I think we are starting this next swing higher. And as you know, I rely on measured moves. And if we do that here, from this low to this high, in Bitcoin, I think we overshoot this parallel channel, if you like, and we overshoot this mid, and I think we could easily retest 101,000. This orange line through the middle, though, could be a little bit of a problem, and that is this 100,000 level price, which if we look left, has been a bit of a wobbler. So if we can get up to 101 and then hold above that 100,000 level, that sets us up really nicely for a bigger move higher. But if in fact we are looking at a bigger channel, we should, of course, you know, if we're going to draw trend lines, we could say that, you know, potentially we reach even higher. And we start looking up here, and perhaps potentially the next bigger swing higher for this. So I think we've just broken out here in ETH as well. Remember, we were in this really long choppy move looking for a bottom. We've double bottomed almost down here. If we look at our fib levels, we pulled, let's get them on properly. There we go. A little bit sideways at a messy 38.2, but this really was a 50%. So this is our next swing higher. For me, we've broken this pattern now, and we're in our next swing higher in ETH. So if we measure from this low to this high, project it from this lowest low here, I think our first target is 3,000. ETH really loves round numbers, and so 3,000 wouldn't be weird at all. And if we look left, we've also got these swing lows at 3,000. So that's the first target for 3,000. And if we continue to the equal measured move level in ETH dollar, it's 3,322. Now, what if this move has just happened and you've missed it and you're thinking, oh, I'd really like to get in on it? Well, I would wait for a pullback, and I would stalk this on an hourly, because you do, you know, in every trend you get them, you will see a little bit of a pullback. Like even in this really strong move here, every time we had a little bit of a pullback, it was at least, you know, 4 or 6 hours, pullback to the moving averages, and up we went. So wait for that pullback, and 3,000 is the upside target next for ETH. And if these two big boys can do it, then all of the smaller ones that we've been watching should do it too. So Doge, for example, which has been sideways trying to make a base, I think this one is going to be in the next swing higher, the bottom that we've been waiting for the next push higher. Might not be a long-term bottom, but at least for another swing higher, I think is underway here in Doge. So, you know, the worst case target, if we push higher here from the middle, measure these swings, again, we're going to retest these highs at 0.29 and then 0.32, and pretty much everything should get lifted with this, and all of the other altcoins that we have been watching that have made these lovely big ABC patterns should follow through and see the next swing higher. So if there's one you're looking at, let me know and I'll cover it. There are a lot out there. As you know, I covered a whole bunch that had done big ABC patterns, Uniswap, you know, from in a wide variety of markets. We said in Uniswap, for example, that we could hold above 9.91, we're going to see a much bigger bounce. Uniswap setting up. All of the ones that we were looking and stalking are in another swing higher. And another one which had been sideways in this really nasty channel, Hyperliquid, looks to me like we are beginning the next swing higher. I put this one down to 0. We didn't quite get back to that 50% level. I'm wondering if I should just unlock this, go from this low, see what the fib patterns tell us, because if we do that here, we can see that this was a really good 61.8, 38.2 kind of golden ratio fib retrace pattern that we were seeing in Hyperliquid. And that means that this next resistance that we need to close above in Hyperliquid, if we're going to keep going higher, oops, I moved the wrong, is holding above this 38.2, which is at 25.85 in Hyperliquid. And this is a really good example of what happens when you go sideways within a golden ratio zone, which is where between the 61.8 fib and the 38.2 fib retraces, where the bulls and bears fight it out. And what you very often see is the 50% level through the middle is a pivot level, and that's exactly what we've seen in this one. So when you get underneath it, it's resistance. When you get above it, as we have here, it's support. And so I'm expecting another leg higher here. And because we are respecting these fib levels from the low here at 10.4 so well, if we break above 25.85, we should see 29.49 next in Hyperliquid. So another swing higher. I'm not going to say that the low is in and we're going to see another big one yet, but it is certainly setting up pretty nicely and looking much better for alts after, you know, pretty nasty bumpy ride, what with stuff that's really nothing to do with altcoins, like tariffs and CPI and inflation data. So good luck. Let me know if there's anything you're looking at and I'll cover it.